What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Versatoris Gaming Channel. Today, we have the end of Season 11 of the Truro City Football Club Youth Academy save. And what a season it has been. It has been probably the best season I have ever had on this save. 100% this is the best season we've ever had. It was the most shocking season we've ever had. I mean, the Vanarama National League, when the season we got promoted, that was shocking. That was nowhere near as shocking as what this was. And before you get your hopes up, we haven't gone up. We haven't gone up. We haven't defied all the odds and gone up. But when I click on us and we go to Sky Bet League 2, you can see we made the final of the playoffs. How mad's that? We made the finals of the playoffs. We beat Fleetwood in the semi-finals. We finished 5th overall. We had an incredible season. Do I think we're going to replicate that next season? No. No, I don't. I really do not think we are replicating this next season. But it was a season that started off incredibly well. And it just kept going and going and going. And I thought, any minute now we're going to drop off. Any minute we're going to drop off and we're going to just start flying down the table. Because you can see, look, if we had lost like 2 of the games we won, we'd be all the way down in 9th. You know what I mean? Like the gap between 12th and 3rd is literally 9 points. Like, we lose a couple of games, we were in trouble. We were falling. So I think we did a very, 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 very good job of staying in the playoffs for as long as we did. If we have a look at the stages, the past positions for this season, you can see we started so badly at the start of the season. Then we jumped up to 10th into the playoffs. We stayed there, dropped back out. We went back in, and we've just been yo-yoing within the playoffs, occasionally dropping out of it here, as you can see. I think that is dropping out of it there, isn't it? No, just sitting on the edge of it. And we did drop out of it here. And I thought this is it. This here. I thought this is where we're going down now. This is where we're going to drop down. We're going to end up down here. But we didn't. We just had a really good end of season as well. You can see the little run we had here was quite good. Although there was a lot of draws in there, and we did finally drop off that last spot on the final day. But fifth playoff final. Superb. So if we have a look at the results of the schedule, you can see things started very poorly for us. I played a rotated team in the Carabao Cup. I wasn't bothered about that. Same with the Papa John's Paint Trophy. Although we did well against both Northampton and Chelsea, but we then lost out to AFC Wimbledon. But you can see it's a very mixed bag of results. We did very well in the league in the first month. We won 3 of our 4 games. Again, conceding a few goals, winning by just the 1 goal, or losing, in this case, by just the 1 goal. September was a bit of an indifferent month. We only lost 1 game again. But, again, a win. Oh, didn't mean to click on that. A win, and a draw. October was a very busy month, and you can see that we picked up 2 losses here, 2 draws. And basically what that was we were starting to get tired towards the end of the month. You can see we're getting tired here towards the end of the month, and results just weren't going our way. So I tried switching things around a bit, using the 2 cup competitions as a chance to rest my boys. Although looking at this, I played both my strongest teams. That is odd that I played strong teams in that. Didn't expect that. But we got a good November. We only lost the last game, and that was in the Papa John's Saint Trophy. So we didn't lose in November, which was very good. A very good win over Birmingham there, 3-1. Draws around the place with Forest Green, Bristol Rovers, Banbury. Good win over Accrington. And then this is the moment that I thought, okay, this is where we're going to start dropping off now. Carlisle, Scunthorpe, 2 draws. Then we got smashed by top of the table, Millwall. And we also lost to Forest Green, who I think were around 19th at this point. And I thought, yeah, okay, the wheels are going to start coming off now. And then we had a very good win against Hartlepool. And again, it didn't really change much. We drew, and then we lost 4-0 to Fleetwood. They just turned up and demolished us, and there was nothing we could do. They absolutely battered us in that game. And then we just went on a bit of a 2-game win. We got 2 more wins, build a bit more confidence in January. Lost to Stockport. We shouldn't have lost that game. That was a silly game to lose. I actually think we played much better in that game and we didn't deserve to lose, I think. Okay, I lied. This is not the Stockport game I was thinking of. But yeah, a bad result. There were days where we just turned up and days where we didn't. We won on the last day of January, 3-0 over Leyton Orient. And then we started February off very much in the same way. 2 draws, 2 losses, only picking up the 1 win. So at this point, I definitely think December, January, February, I'm sat there thinking, okay, this is the time we're going to start now. We're going to drop off. We're not going to do very well. We're going to basically struggle till the end of the season. And we might get lucky if we finish in the top half. And then I don't know what happened, but in March, I think all this rest that we got in March, we only had 3 games in March. So all the rest we got, I think it revitalised the squad. And we got wins over Banbury, wins over Bristol Rovers, and then a 2-2 draw with Fylde. And you can see it's pretty much the same scorers. Stuart Walker, Richie Andrews, Kwaku Brewster. Where is Jack Johnson? Jack Johnson's in there. Toshido's scored a few goals this season. So very, very nice the way things were going in March. April comes around, we only lose the 1 game. And I've clicked on it again. We only lose the 1 game in April. And that was at the very start. That was against Gillingham. We then drew with Harrogate. We beat Northampton. We beat Carlisle. We had a 4-4 draw against Scunthorpe. This is where I'm like throwing the kitchen sink at teams. We need to get into the playoffs. I'm thinking like we need to stay in these playoffs. I am throwing the kitchen sink. Birmingham 2-1. Comes down to the final game of the season. Final game of the season. There is Banbury, Hartlebury, Truro. All going for that final, that 3rd place finish. All of us. You can see how close it came. We have got top of the table Millwall. I thought, oh no. Like we should, a couple of them draws before. If we'd have turned them 2 draws before into wins, we'd be in 3rd place and I wouldn't be worrying. I thought, right, we're going to have to go against Millwall and hope that they're not going to put out a decently strong team. They're champions. They're just not going to be bothered. Hopefully, you can see once they were crowned champions, they just really did not care. You know what I mean? You can see it there. They did not care. They just lost in every game. And you can see that last game. That last game is a draw. We drew the last game of the season with Millwall. If we'd have won that game, we'd be promoted right now. We wouldn't have had to bother. We wouldn't have had to bother with the playoffs. But no. We drew that last game 1-1, as you can see. Jack Johnson scoring in the 61st minute. So disappointing. And then we drew against Fleetwood in the away match, in the away leg. 1-1. And we beat them 2-1 in the home leg. And then Banbury just managed to get the 1 goal against us to win the playoff final. I think they actually battered us as well. Yeah, 22-7, 6-3. They battered us. Our team was just... We were knackered. You can see Thomas Owen is playing, not Jack Muller. Leighton Sneap, I need to replace. He's not any good in this position. But you can just see my team just did not play this time. And it was unfortunate that that's how things went. So we lost in the playoff final. I don't think we're going to be in the playoffs next season. I'm going to be honest. But I am very, very happy with the season we had. The club is very happy with the season we had. We finally have a positive balance. While that will also be dropping, although it will be dropping, I think, over the course of the next couple of seasons. I am very glad that we are above our balance. It means we can start playing our players a little bit more. And we can start earning some decent money for players. Hopefully we can start investing it into the club. We currently have... What is it that I have asked for? I have asked for something recently and they said they would give it to me. And I can't remember what it is. There was I've asked for an increase in the junior coaching. They rejected that. They outright rejected that. They would not let me have it. Very, very disappointed with that. I thought we could really do with boosting that. But they did accept that we would improve the youth recruitment. Now, I had to argue it with them. And they did eventually decide to improve it. There we go, look. And then they've just told me apparently no. So they did say yes, and now they're saying no, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it is what it is. There's not a lot I can do about it. I'm a little bit disappointed that they have done that. I was hoping that we could get better youths in. We have finished our latest course as well, so we are Continental A license manager. We have, at the beginning of the year, Bournemouth tried to offer me a contract. It might not be in here no more, no. But Bournemouth had got rid of their manager at the start of the season, after being relegated from the Premiership, and you can see they went on to win the championship with relative ease, with Sean Cooper becoming the manager they eventually picked. But we went through the whole thing with them. We did the interview, and I saved the game. I did the interview. I chose my back team staff that would go with me. We did everything. So I took Ed Palmer with me. I took a few of these with me. I think I took Nick Amos to go as a fitness coach. I took Ed Palmer to go with me. And a few, yeah. I think I took maybe one of the scouts. Did I take a scout? No, I took Wayne Richmond with me. And I think I took one of the physios as well. I think I took Steve Bissett with me. Took him over to Bournemouth. I then saved that game as the Bournemouth game. So you can see in the load in here, you can see Bournemouth 2033. So just because I wanted to see what I could do, I haven't actually played with that. I don't know if I'll ever get to play with that. I then came back to this save and carried on with the season from there. I just wanted to see what I could do with the Bournemouth job. I don't think Truro would have survived this season if I'd have left. You can see the star ratings are starting to show who are the better players in this squad. Our Thomas Owen is developing beautifully. He's almost on the verge of taking over that starting spot. In fact, he probably is now taking over that starting spot over Jeremy Muller. I like some of his traits, his leadership. He's quite a good little player. I have enjoyed using him this season. Although 6.7 is not his best season. But you can see here, 6.46. Leighton Sneap has had a woeful season again. And I reckon it's just down to the fact that he is not very quick. He is not a wing back on any form of the word wing back. Philip Murray, looking ever increasingly like he's going to leave, but he's had a bit of interest over this season, but I think he might actually stay. Anton Brownlee, while he was capped at under 18s, he's never improved since then. And while he's a decent player, you can see he's just not going to do it for this squad. But he is still first team player. He will remain first team player until somebody steps into place. I mean, we got Gideon down here that may do it. But again, Gideon's very much the same as Anton. Corby Cherra, he's developed but not developed loads. He's still only good enough for Van Ramesh and North South side. So how we're doing in League 2, I don't know. But you can see my defence is starting to weaken a little bit. Hassan Paul is finally going to stay with the club. You can see right there his contract, 2037. We've got him for another 3 years. Thank you, FM gods. So he wanted to go. Nobody wanted to sign him basically. And he come to me and he goes, "Look, I know you've tried. I know you haven't received a bid, so we're just gonna like forget about it." I thought, oh, okay, that's great. So I went to offer him a contract. Boom, contract. Yes. What I didn't notice during the contract negotiations was that if we didn't get promoted, he could be sold for 115,000. Everyone at the same time. Oh dear. But if he does go, 115,000. That is a lot of money. That could put us in money to invest. It would also give Chris Smith the chance at having a go, although I don't think Chris Smith is ever going to be good enough. So we could do with another goalkeeper coming through. Toshido is still playing really well. He's 2.5-star ability, but look at him. He looks a decent player, and I think he's probably had his best ever season. Yeah, his best ever season for us. Look at that. He's finally grown into his boots, and I am very, very pleased. Brad Park is obviously dropping down now. I mean, you put him on this, and it says he's 2.5-star. It's mad, absolute madness. Decent player for Vanarama national side, so he is in the league below. But again, one of his better seasons. He had 2 good seasons there, and then had a really good season this year. Alex Mullen hasn't really set the world alight this season. I haven't been that overly impressed with him. He's played 41 times, 4 goals, 6 assists, 3 player of the matches. A slightly better player rating than last season, but again, not his best season yet. His first season and his first full season was his better seasons. But he still has a little bit of room to grow, and he is still growing, as you can see. So I am relatively pleased with what he's done, but he's not had his best season. Stuart Walker, this season, 21 goals, 6 assists, 7.03 average rating. Played one more game than last season, and you can see he's pretty much the same as last season. Although his average rating is a little bit more. So he's been a little bit more consistent this season. I'm very happy with that. But obviously his goals and his assist output is roughly around the same. We are so reliant on these two lads, Stuart Walker and Jack Johnson. Leading National North-South player. So he's never going to be good enough for this league. So the fact that he's smashing 21 goals in this league just is a testament to his ability and his determination. Jack Johnson, 24 goals, 6.99 average rating. Again, playing up top. 7.03. Better goal output this season. Worse on the assists. Less appearances, but the same average rating. Since stepping up to the first team, he has been relatively decent. You know what I mean? He scored 84 in 251 appearances for us. That is a very good return for Jack Johnson. What was Stuart Walker's 112 in 302? Do I think either of these two are going to overtake Mr. Lewis Rooney? No, I don't think they are. But it's the nature of the beast. And I don't think Lewis Rooney is going to be overtaken for a long, long time. Not quite sure how to have a look at the records. I think you can do it here, records. So Lewis Rooney, 228 goals. So 228 goals, and it would require, in order to get that, it would require Stuart Walker staying at the club. And he's got to get another 116 odd goals. So it would require him staying another few seasons. He's 24 years old now. Can he do it in 6 seasons? How many has he got? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons. This is. So you take 9 more seasons, that's 34 years of age. And not only that, we might not be in League Two, so he might not be here. You know what I mean? So if somebody comes about and they're better than Jack Johnson or Stuart Walker, these two players are never going to beat Lewis Rooney. But 112 goals for Truro City Football Club from he's basically our top youth goal scorer at the moment. I am very pleased with him. I am very pleased. He came in at a very important time and has done the business for us. And he has kept us in League Two as well. That's what we have to remember. Between him and Jack Johnson, they've nearly carried us to League One. So I'm not going to complain about either of them two. Tim McGrath Colbert, 4 appearances, 22 sub appearances. Very surprised at his season. He's had a relatively decent season, much better than last year. But even so, he's never been that good for us. And he's never really had the chance to shine. This season, he will be leaving because we have a new player in his role that I am going to give the chance to a little bit more. And that is Mr. Christos. Christos hasn't played that many times. 2 starts, 6 sub appearances, 6.6 average rating. Again, he's not really a wing back, but I'm going to give him more of a chance than what I've given to give him more of a chance than I've given to Tim McGrath Colbert. Moving on to Scott Beauchamp. Scott Beauchamp came in last season as a youth academy player. Very, very good looking player. As you can see, he's played 6 appearances so far this season. He's had a decent average rating. 3 appearances, 4 sub appearances. I reckon he's going to be a decent player for us. He's currently a good player for the North South, and he has the potential to improve a lot. Does that mean that he's going to be Sky Bet League 2 quality? Remains to be seen. But he is getting some game time every now and then, and he is on the subs bench. Kwaku has had his best season by far. 3 assists, 7 goals, 12 in total. Very good season. 19 appearances, 20 sub appearances, 6.76. 36 appearances overall, 7 goals, 3 assists, 1 player of the match, 6.75 average rating. Playing very well. His potential isn't that high, so that's why he hasn't overtaken Stuart Walker or Jack Johnson, but he's a very decent backup for us. He's very brave. He's a decent pressing for obviously not for this league, but for our squad, he's a decent pressing forward, and I'm very happy with his progress. He is only 20 years old, so he still has room to grow. Maybe he needs some more game time, but I think 19 starts is very good. I think one of these two was out with a little bit of an injury for a little bit, so Kwaku got quite a run. Gideon, we've already spoke about, 6.64, had his best season to date so far as well. He actually scored this season as well in his 21 appearances, 3 starts, 20 sub appearances, played very well. Very happy with him. So while I'm saying I'm very happy with players, and we're looking at it and we're going, well, he's only a 6.7 overall for the season. But you got to remember, these players aren't good enough for this league. They're nowhere near good enough for the league below. So the fact that they're achieving average ratings, you know what I mean? Average ratings, 6.6, 6.7 in this league, for players that aren't made for this league, you're not going to say no. Like, if these players were back in the Vanuatu North South, they'd be getting 7s and 8s. You know what I mean? These players were playing really well for the level they're at. So although I'm seeing really low stats across the board, apart from Leighton, who's just not playing well at all. Leighton might actually have to move into the midfield somewhere, because at that wing back spot, he can't do it. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you look at these ratings and you think, oh, that's not great. But for this league, this quality of players, that's good. Andy Evans, again, 10 appearances, 10 starts, 19 subs, 6.65. His best season to date in this league. Not his best season to date overall, but he got 3 assists this season, so his best assist return, which I'm very happy with. But obviously, this potential ability is going to prove that he is not going to be a good enough player for us in the future, and eventually we're going to have to move on from him. Richie Andrews, we gave that 1-year contract to. And if the bloke doesn't go and give us his best season in a Truro shirt over 5 appearances, unbelievable. Unbelievable that he did that. He's still going to go at the end of this season. Like, there's still not a place for him in the squad. Not with this 2-star potential, but I did not expect him to do that. 6.99 average rating over 20 games for a bit part player. Unbelievable. Gustav Stanku, 16 starts, 28 sub appearances, 6.83 with 3 goals. Very, very, very happy with his contribution. His best season to date in a Truro shirt. Very happy with him. Very happy with his progress. He's going to continue to progress. He's a 2.5 star. He's knocking on the door of Anton Brownlee and not necessarily Philip, but he's definitely knocking on the door of Anton. Only problem is he's left-footed, which is why he's not taking over that spot. Lewis Smith dropped down to 2-star rating. He is going to remain here for some time, but he's always going to be a backup player. He's never going to be a main player. 7 appearances, 6 from the bench. No goals, 1 assist, 6.25. He's just not good enough. Christos, we have already talked about. Jeremy Muller has been out injured, which is why he's not in the starting 11. But again, another player that I don't know what to do with. I've got a lot of midfielders now. Maybe we have to turn to a 4-3-3 or something like that. 28 appearances, not his best season. He was out for a lot of it, injured. 3 goals, 2 assists. He was on course for one of his best ever seasons. But obviously, injury has cut that short. And unfortunately, you can see, look, this season he's just had a bit of a run, twisted ankle there. He broke his foot at the start of the season. Then he had a twisted ankle. Then he had a bruised shin. Now he's got a groin strain. He's becoming a little bit injury prone. I don't know whether that's coming in this. It's not showing it at the moment, but a little bit disappointed that it's basically cut his season a little bit short. Timothy's doing my nutting. As far as I'm concerned, he can go. He's had his best ever season. He's made 10 appearances, 3 starts, 7 sub appearances, but he's doing my Sweden a little bit. He moans a lot. He's never going to be good enough. He's just one of them players. This is the man that may be replacing, that may be going on to Shido's side. He is the backup to Shido. And he has been playing relatively well. 6.5 overall for the season, 3 total appearances, 6.53. I think he definitely needs a little bit longer to develop. He's still got a 3.5 potential, which is obviously as good as Mullen and Leighton Sneap. So I'm going to keep him here for the time being, and we'll see how he gets on. Going into the under 21s, obviously we've got a load of players here that are out of contract. I'm going to release all of these on a free. We have Shane Brennan. He is still here. Again, he's only on a youth contract, but he won't be here much longer. He's not going to make it. Who else? We got Darren Burns. Again, 3-star, probably not going to make it. I'm just keeping him around just to basically run the 21 team. Again, another one that's not going to make it. And Steve Holland is probably our best prospect out of these 3. But again, a player that's probably not going to make it. Into the under 18s. So, we're going to go through the ones that have come in this season. So, you can see all the Y34s down here. So, we shall start with Y34A, which is Alfie Bell. Alfie Bell looks a decent player. Big potential. He likes that right foot, so he's definitely looking to potentially be that backup to Alex Mullen, especially as Andy Evans is looking ever increasingly worse. And it's coming to a point where, okay, Andy Evans isn't playing that well. He's not brilliant. Is it time to go, Alfie Bell, come up to the first team, see what you can do? You are only 16 years of age, but I definitely think he could do it. His determination is a little bit low. He's got a decent work rate. He's relatively quick. He can dribble. He's got a decent first touch, decent technique, and he's got a bigger potential than what Andy Evans has. And you can see here, it already rates him better than Andy Evans. So Alfie Bell might be coming into the squad next season. Look at Liam Owen. He plays on the left. He likes to be a wing back on defend, but he has a decent pace, decent stamina, good work rate, positioning. Teamwork, positioning, and off the ball are pretty much the same. And could do with some work. He's very strong with both feet. Potentially, while he's not brilliant, he is only 15. His potential's not the highest, but if we start playing him now, hopefully dynamic potential can come into it. And perhaps Liam Owen could be our left back to take over from Leighton Sneap. Now, obviously, it wants me to play Philip Murray or Brad Park there. I'm not playing either of them there, and I'm not playing Leighton there no more because Leighton is woeful in that position. Being 6 foot, Leighton may. I was going to say may have to move into the defence, but we play a high line. He's only got 5 pace. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do with Leighton yet. I might try and transfer him, to be honest, which would pave the way for Liam Owen massively. But is Liam Owen going to be better than Leighton overall? I don't know. Seth Perret. 15 years old, plays all down this right-hand side. He's got a reasonable left foot, the very good right foot, so he might move over to play here. He might move over to play up top. It looks like I'm developing him to play up top. I want to take advantage of this 7 finishing. Off the ball's not great, and this work rate is relatively decent. He is 5'8" though. So, again, I don't know. He might make it, he might not. But with, Richie Andrews leaving, Seth Perret may be coming into it. Y34D, Daniel Sobicic, something like that. 16 years old, plays in the midfield, box-to-box midfielder. He's got decent stats, 11, 10, 14, 10, 10, you know what I mean, 10, 9, 14. A player that I reckon if he gets some game time, he could do well. He needs to just improve himself ever so slightly. So he's going to spend next season down in the under-18s and then move into the under-21, 17. We're moving now on to Y34E, I think we're on. And that is Mr. Rob Walker. Plays on the left, very strong foot. He could potentially also be Andy Evans' replacement, but he's not quite as good as Andy Evans at this moment. He lacks no real bravery or anything like. He's got no real bravery or anything like that. But he can dribble, he can cross. He's got decent acceleration, decent pace. Again, another player that could be in and around the first team next season or the season after. After E comes F. Forgot my alphabet for a minute. Danny McKenzie's only 3-star potential. Probably never going to make it, but I did buy him for the youth team. I did bring him in for the youth teams. Friday, Amarigi. Again, probably never going to be good enough, but I brought him in for the under-18s just to flush it out a little bit. We're looking at Justin now. 3-star, maybe might make it, but probably won't. He's got a decent left and right foot. He's 6'4", so we are going to train him to play as a central defender. So he may make it, he may not. He's got a decent jumping reach, so he potentially won't make it as far as first team regular, but he might be in and around the squad. We'll also look at the final one, which is Jared Quigley. Now, Jared Quigley is probably never, ever, 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 ever going to step foot onto the pitch for Truro FC. We're teaching him to play as a midfielder. He's 6'1", and I just think with this, I think he's just going to be better off playing as a central midfielder rather than playing as a striker. That 5 finishing is a little bit worrying, but the stats seem to be relative, like the way they are, seem to be his best ones for this position. So that's where he's being trained to play, basically. But again, another one I don't think will ever make it near the first team. Moving on to the players that are in the squad in the under-18s that are obviously going to be looking to move up to the 21s now. We have Wayne Maloney, 6 foot, decent with both feet. But again, probably never going to make it. Normally, if they're still down in the under-18s and they're 19, 20 years of age, they're never, ever, ever going to make it to the first team. I like the mentors on this lad, but unfortunately, everything else lets him down around the place. But he may enter the squad if we need him. These two are going to go up to the next level, up to the under-21s. Josh Morrison is also going to go up to the under-21s next season. He's got 3.5-star potential, so there's still some room for him to grow. He needs to grow quicker, though. He is right foot strong, decent on his acceleration, good aggression, good determination. Positioning's not great, teamwork's average, tackling's alright, but overall, maybe around the squad at some point. Charlton Laker, 17 years old, will also go up to the under-21s this season, but again, probably will never make it. Only that 3-star potential ability. Andy Lau, again, same sort of thing, can play right across this back line, so there may be room for him at some point, but being 5'10", he's probably never going to play in the midfield. And you can see that in the youth squad, he's just been used all over the place, and he's not really developed as a result. But that 3-star ability could provide something for us, but he's probably never going to make it. Marcelo Bastic, another 3-star player, only 1.5-star current silver ability. He's probably never going to make it, in all honesty. So we're not gonna spend too much time on him. James Hallahan, or Halligan, however you pronounce it, 3.5-star potential ability. Might be able to do something. He is being trained on that right hand side. It's not where I probably should have trained him, but he's one of the ones that I've missed in the training, and it looks like it could bite me in the backside. That. So He is only 5'4" though. He's got he's got he's got heading, marking, and tackling, and decent relatively everywhere except the fact that he's 5'4". If I was still using attacking midfielders, I'd be a lot more happy with him, but I don't think he'll make it either. Richard White, 3.5-star potential, plays as a striker, advanced forward. Yeah, maybe makes it around the team. This work rate is a little low, so I'm not too keen on that. But strong left foot, reasonable right foot. He may make it around the squad at some point. Baker Hoyt, 3-star, probably never going to make it. You can see his stats just aren't in the right places at all. Giovanni McQueen, a player I really hoped would do bits because I love the name. I love the fact he's strong in both left and right foot. His positioning is dog shite. His height is decent, but everything else is in the wrong place. He can't head the ball. His marking's awful. His tackling's awful. It's just awful. And I really wanted this lad to make it, but because it's just a brilliant name. But nah. Scott Page, 4.5-star ability, but has not grown from his 2-star silver ability. Can't head. Can't really do a lot of anything. No strength to him. 6'2". Another left footer, but and he's easily discouraged. So that's a major issue for Mr. Scott Page. Leighton Demkiv, 2.5-star. We said this last season, only signed really as a bit of a filler player. Alex Wilson, last year's top prospect, is relatively decent. He may get a run at some point, but Chris Smith is ahead of him, and he's got low determination. He's injury prone. There's a very good chance that this lad is not going to make it either. Paul Dyer, the second best youth prospect from last year. 4-star potential still, current ability of 2-star silver. I might bring him into the first team just to sit around the first team, get some determination lessons and all that sort of crap. But he will be made available for the under-21s next season. Ian Meyer, again, 1.5-star rated ability, which is mad, but I think that's down to the fact that his aggression and bravery are both 20, and his teamwork's 15. So, there is every chance that he could be around the squad, but with this 2.5 potential, I don't think it will happen. And that is going to end the youth team talks as well. You can see here, Josh Morrison needs attention, and a couple of these need to be watched because they're good enough for other areas. But that is going to end today's video, though. If you have enjoyed it, please drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next Sunday for another season at Truro City Football Club. See you all soon.